Today I'm going to show you how to create AI music video like this.
They say I'm crazy for moving fast in a world that's half asleep. They say I'm crazy for wanting more, for opening every door. If this is crazy, then let it be. I'd rather move than wait to see.
In this video, I'll walk you step by step through how I create AI music videos in 2026. Starting with the song, shaping a story from it, designing visuals scene by scene, bring them to life with animation and lip sync, and finishing everything in the edits. Not AI slop, not random generations, a complete intentional system. By the end of this video, you'll be able to create your own AI music video. And later, I'll show you how to get multiple characters to sing at exactly the right moment. But first, we need a song. And for this project, I'm using Suno. And to generate a song in Suno, we need a style prompt and the lyrics. To make this easy, I use a simple songwriting prompt that turns a rough idea into exactly those two outputs. This way you don't need to know music theory or technical terms. You just have to enter a simple idea, maybe a sentence. The more details you input, the more unique the song will be. We'll just copy this. We can use normal ChatGPT or a custom GPT that knows the best practice of Suno. Just paste in our prompt and send it in. After inputting the prompt, we got the style prompt and the lyrics. I recommend to do some back and forth iteration to perfect this lyrics and style. And then we can copy the style prompt into the style box and also the lyric into the lyric. Going down, there is advanced option. You can exclude style and select the vocal gender. And lyric mode, we'll choose manual since we input our own lyrics. You can also ask Suno to write it for you. Adjust the weirdness for unexpected results. And the style influence to control how much weight your style description will influence the song. And here we will put in our song title. And we can save to different workspace here. Hit create. And you will get two tracks at the same time. So I generated a few versions. I think this is the best track I generated for this batch. So we'll listen to this one.
Let's go. New year, new light, ready to shine tonight.
This is called the ad-libs, where normally the singer will freestyle and sing. And you can build this in your lyrics. Also, you'll see the tags in square brackets to signal the different sections of the song.
I've been chasing stars with my eyes closed tight, falling down, but now I see the signs. Every step I take, I'm making mine. This time I'm not afraid to climb. Got my heart on fire, my dreams in line. I won't let the moment pass me by. Turn the page, no rewind. It's my year to rise. This time I'll do it right, do it right, do it right. No more holding back tonight, tonight.
You can also rap by just tagging like this. I won't go into details in this video about how to tag. You can chat and explore more with the GPT.
Yeah, step in the spotlight, 22 seas glow. Past me's gone, I will run the show. Dreams too big, can't fit the frame. Every fall taught me how to play the game.
So with easy prompt we used earlier, we can create a pretty decent song like this. And once you're happy with the song, you can click on the three dots next to the song and just click download. And we want to download the WAV audio version. It will give you the better audio quality. A side note is that if you want to get the stem, you can also do it in Suno and separate vocal and instrumental using this. Pure vocal would give you better lip sync results later when we're doing the video process. To be honest, I'm sometimes lazy and most of the time it works without separating. So after the separation, you can just download single track. Now that we have the song, we're ready to move on to the next step and start building the visuals around it.
If you like what you see, yeah, we're crazy for more. Hit subscribe, join the crew. We're coming for you.
Your visuals don't have to follow the lyrics literally, but I found that using lyrics as a blueprint to generate a story framework first makes everything more cohesive. Here's the prompt I used to turn lyrics into a sing breakdown by section that you can input to ChatGPT for ideas. By the way, you can grab the prompts and all the others I'm sharing today, links in the description. So in this prompt, we just have to adjust this part where you just input your lyrics and the theme and also maybe the artist or characters you want to include in your music video. and then feed it into ChatGPT. Then we can get a basic story framework like this. This step isn't about locking yourself into a rigid story that ChatGPT gives you. It's about giving yourself a foundation to build from. If you have worked with AI, you'll probably know that flexibility is important, especially when you don't have unlimited credits. You want a clear direction, but you also want room to adapt as the visuals evolve. And I'll share tips on how to do that later. Once we have this structure, we can move into creating the visual, starting with character consistency and world building. For the visual, we are using Dzine AI, which is one of the best platforms for music video generation, especially for its multi-character lip sync ability. First, let's create a character. Let's go into any project. For this project, my main character actually started from my own photo. I used the chat editor in Dzine. I uploaded a reference image of myself, and this is the prompt that I used to give it a more K-pop idol look. Mostly I use Dzine 4.5 and Nano Banana Pro because I find that I can get more consistent results with this, but sometimes you get interesting results with ChatGPT as well. And here you can select the aspect ratio and resolution. And then we can just click generate to generate the images. So this one is the result of Dzine 4.5. I find that Dzine 4.5 would look the best like the reference image. Here's another Dzine 4.5. This one is Nano Banana Pros. It doesn't look as much like me compared to Dzine 4.5. And this one is ChatGPT. After a few rounds of tests and iterations, I finalized this character as the main character of the music video. So it no longer looks like me, and I think that works better for the vibe of this song. If you're starting from scratch, you can also skip the reference image entirely and just use text to image. For model choice, you can really try out different advanced image model here. There are many to choose from. Different models, you can get different results with the same prompt. Here is the prompt I would use for the aesthetic I'm looking for. The same, we can turn on and off the prompt improver, select the quality, aspect ratio, and we can just generate. You can also get your character with text to image like this. Once you have a character you're happy with, this becomes your anchor. And every scene in your music video will reference this image to keep the visual consistent and believable. After we have the character image, we will also want to lock the style of our music video. Now we have the character, let's build different looks. We can use the chat editor to modify her outfit and build different looks for the music video. For example, I added this fur coat, and in this prompt saying, put the coat on her. And we can also add details without a reference image, like specifying full body shot and silver strap high heels like this in just text. And here's the image we get. You can repeat this process with other outfits. I found some sleepwear references online and I swapped her outfit again using this prompt. This makes it very easy to reuse the same character across different scenes while changing styling to match the need of each part of the song. Next, we can place the characters into different environments. Here, I combined a character with a background scene using this prompt. To keep image quality high, I usually add keywords like photorealistic or cinematic. This helps to create higher quality results. From there, we can continue building more scenes with the same character. For example, in this shot, I use a top-down cinematic angle and describe what she's doing and the environment she's in. And here's a trick most people miss to maintain visual consistency across all scenes. To control the style of the visual, you may want to use a reusable style block like this that defines the overall aesthetic you want. This can include lighting, color palette, and mood. The details depend on the style you're looking for. Once you define it, you can paste the same style block in every prompt to keep the visual cohesive. Here's the result. And you can see that the visual color theme I specified is integrated in the images. Using just simple prompt, you can also do things like changing the lighting of the image like this. And using the previous image as reference, I asked to make her sit up and have the camera at her eye level. The visual tone remains the same, but with multiple iterations like this, sometimes you might notice the character's face drifting sometimes. When that happens, I simply use chat editor and upload both the image we want to change and also the face of the character, and use the face swap or correction prompt like this to bring her back to the look I want. This step is important if you care about consistency and don't want the character to slowly change over time. Finally, you can combine multiple characters into one image. In this example, I use one image as the base, and added 2 other characters into the same scene. The faces look pretty similar because all of them were actually originally derived from my own face. And this is how you can create group shots, generate each character separately, and keep the identities consistent, and then combine them together when needed. Bonus tip. One challenge I ran into was figuring out the in-between moments. For example, I had one shot of her on the bed, and later she's outside on the street. And sometimes I need ideas about what happens in between. To solve this, I use Nano Banana Pro to imagine the scenes between 2 images. Upload your start frame and end frame with this prompt, and it generates a grid of intermediate shots that bridge the gap. From there, you extract the ones you like and use them as inputs for your next steps. I found this super helpful for fast iteration. I'll link the prompts below. This process may seem like a lot of steps for some people, but it's how you maintain quality and consistency while building a full AI music video. With our visuals design, it's time to bring them to life. And later I will reveal how to make this happen. At this point, all the creative decisions are done. We have the song, we have the structure, we have characters and scenes. Now we turn still images into videos. Let's try to make this image sing. For that, we can go to the lip sync panel, and here you can choose either a face image or a video. I'm going to select face image, and I'll pick the image I already placed on the canvas. After you upload it, Dzine will detect faces. This one detects 3 people, so I'll choose the one I want to lip sync. And if it doesn't detect the face, you can manually mark it. That happens sometimes with animal or cartoon characters, and you can select up to 4 characters now. Let's click next. Now we're in the lip sync timeline panel. On the left, you'll see 2 modes, normal and pro. I usually choose pro for better quality. For output quality, we'll pick 1080p. Down here on the timeline, you can drag the duration. You can generate up to 5 minutes long, but in general, you don't want to lip sync longer than you need, especially if you are using a video as a base. The longer the clip, the more it can drift from your character consistency. So I recommend keeping this tight. To cut shorter segment of your audio, I use a free online tool, and it's super easy to use. I'll link it below. Back to Dzine, down here on the timeline, you'll see speaker A, B, and C. We can control who sings and when. So here I upload the audio. You can do text-to-speech in Dzine, but for music video, we're going to upload our own audio clips. So now let's take a listen. You can also press the space key to play.
Sleep, they say I'm crazy for wanting more, for opening every door. If this is crazy.
You can hear this part is where they're all singing together, and then this part is where it's just one singer. So I'll upload the same clips for all 3 of them. And then I'll adjust the duration for each person and who's active for the solo section. And for this part where they sing together again, we can just add the same track again. Right now there isn't an auto lineup feature yet, so you have to manually align it yourself. What I do is line them up visually from the bottom like this and do the same for the other track. Now let's listen. That's actually lined up better than I expected. I'll just adjust it a tiny bit. So the pattern here is this part they all sing together, and this part only this one sing, and then they sing together again. Once we're happy, we can click generate.
They say I'm crazy for wanting more, for opening every door. If this is crazy.
So you can see they're lip syncing together at the beginning, and then she's the only singer in the middle, and then they sing together again. Also notice the background. Things like smoke can animate because the model animates elements in the image when it thinks those elements can move. The result is pretty good for multiple character lip sync at once. But if you want more control over how the characters move like this, a better workflow is to generate video first, then lip sync on top of it. If you do image to lip sync directly, you'll get something like this, where they're mostly just standing there. So to do that, go to AI video and input your start frame. Here's the prompt I'm using. 3 women walk forward toward the camera and sync, confident and in control, maintaining strong eye contact. For the model, you can choose any of the models here. My default is usually clean because it gives a good balance of quality, consistency, and price. VO 3.1 is really good too. It just costs more credits. If clean doesn't give you what you want, you can also try C-Dance, like the newest 1.5 version. Here I select Clean 2.6. With Clean 2.6, you can generate sound together with the video, but we're not going to use that sound. Sometimes I test it out, but if you want to save credits, just turn the sound off. Then choose your quality and duration. For this one, I want it a bit longer so they have time to walk. And you can see turning sound on increases the credits. Now click generate. Okay, here's the result.
We're walking into the light now.
For this one, you can see the style shifts halfway through, and also the facial consistency change near the end. If your clips is too long, for some models, they don't hold consistency the whole way through. I usually just use the best few seconds, like the first 5 seconds is good here. Now from here, we can click lip sync under the video to send it to the lip sync panel. It's the same as uploading a face video inside the lip sync panel. Select the faces you want to sync and click next. And then we upload the same audio clips for all 3 singers again. Then adjust the duration based on who you want singing at each moment. You can play the video by hitting space and see if everything lines up correctly. And hit generate. And here's the result.
They say I'm crazy for moving fast in a world that's half asleep. They say I'm crazy for wanting more, for opening every door.
So by adjusting the audio blocks on the timeline, you get complete control of the timing. I also want to show you how I made this part of the video in the intro. This used to require advanced editing skills. Now you can do the same with video editing AI models that let you directly edit content inside a video. To do that, we will go to Video Editor. Down here in the model, we will choose Kling 01, which is the most advanced model to let you edit video with natural languages and multimodal references. Up here, we can upload our video. And here we can also upload our reference images if you want to guide the edit toward a more specific look or style. But today we're not going to use that. Under here in the prompt box, you can see that there's an add video 1 already put in. If you have a reference image, it will also be tagged as add image 1. And if you have another one, you'll see add image 2 and so on. When you type in add, you can choose from different elements. And by describing the relationship between these elements, the AI can understand what exactly you're looking for to combine, swap, or edit the video using natural language to describe how each element interacts. You can then instruct the AI to edit the video in the way that you want. Today we're keeping it simple and we're just going to keep the video and type a simple prompt like remove the 2 women walking on the side and only keep the woman in the center. And then we can just hit generate. We get a video like this.
They say I'm crazy for moving fast in a world that's half asleep. They say I'm crazy for wanting more, for opening every door.
And you can see that the 2 women are successfully removed from the video, and also the missing part that was blocked by the woman is seamlessly filled in. Models like Kling 01 can do more than just removal. You can use them to swap objects, change visual style, adjust motion, and make targeted edits that used to require a lot of manual work and technical expertise. If you want to explore more on what Kling 01 can do, you can check out this video after this one. Now in Dzine, there is also this video enhance and upscale feature. You can enhance your video by 4 times and upscale up to 8K for the best quality on big screens. How I built this sequence in the editing software is first I sync the 2 clips together on the timeline, and then I layer the solo walking clip on top and the 3 walking together clip underneath. I use the top clip to cover the lower portion. We can also add special effect for transition like this. And that's how I built this sequence. This used to require something like After Effects and hours of masking. And now it's just 1 prompt. At this point, we have all our footage, but right now it's just a folder full of clips. The final step is where we cut into the beats and make it feel like a real music video. We will import our video clips and our song into a video editor. For this one, I'm using CapCut. First, I bring in the song audio and place it on the timeline as the base. Then on top of that, I add the video clips where the characters are singing. To sync the video and audio, I select both the video clip and the audio under it, and then I right-click and choose Sync Video and Audio. This let the editor automatically line up the video with the audio, so the singing matches the track. After that, I'll play it back just to double-check that everything is synced correctly. For sections where I don't want her to sing the entire time, I simply layer the B-roll instead like this. We will then mute the track on the top to prevent volume fluctuation. Once everything looks good, That's it. Just export the video. What used to take a full team can now be done solo if you follow the right workflow. If you want to try this yourself, I've shared every prompt I used in this video. You can grab them for free inside my school community. Links in the description. Hope this helps you create something you're proud to share. And if you want to see the finished result, you can watch the full music video here.